When it comes to the Wii U, Nintendo isn't getting a whole lot of third-party support to fill in the gaps between their big first-party releases. The 3DS seems to be fine when it comes to this department, but the Wii U, well, let's just say it's kind of a lone ranger, like myself. But all hope isn't lost, because the Wii U eShop is doing a pretty fine job at filling in those gaps, and we have indie developers to thank for that. It's not exactly easy for indies to get their games jump-started, because they have to fork over money from their own pockets, instead of having a publisher help them out. So many have turned to the website Kickstarter, and because of that, Kickstarter has become a hive for numerous games looking to get funded, and it's as if a new game is popping up every week. And sometimes what these developers are offering is super promising, like the well-known Shovel Knight, and sometimes they're just not exactly appetizing. Good thing is, these indie developers on Kickstarter are not leaving the Wii U in the dust, as some promise a Wii U version right from the get-go as part of the primary funding goal, like Shovel Knight, while others relegate it to a stretch goal, which has less of a chance of bearing fruit, but nevertheless it's still nice to see. And because of this, we have a number of Kickstarter games that have successfully been funded and are in development right now that are making their way to Nintendo's wonderful Wii U. So I had the brilliant idea to highlight several of these titles, which will help give them more exposure and get you hyped for what's coming to the Wii U eShop. So without further ado, here are 5 Kickstarter games to look out for on the Wii U eShop in 2015. Honestly, when I began the process of making this video about Kickstarter games, Hive Jump was definitely not on my mind. I'd heard the name before, but I just wasn't familiar with what it was all about, but someone suggested it to me, so I decided to give it a closer look, and oh my word, this game looks stinking glorious. Hive Jump is a run-and-gun 2D platforming action game that's part Spelunky, part XCOM, and all about whooping some alien tushy. In each mission of the game, you and your jump team will be placed at the surface of an alien hive, full of tunnels and caves, and thus the title of Hive Jump is born. You'll continue the descent into these procedurally generated hives, slaughter mounds of aliens, collect resources to upgrade your gear, and then ultimately face off against the Hive Queen. The hives actually seem to be set up very similar to Image & Form's own SteamWorld Dig, because the underground labyrinth is different each time, but there are hand-designed challenge rooms lurking in there as well, so you can upgrade your arsenal. Now, the whole process of jumping into hives is only part of the big picture though, because the actual campaign where the hive jumping takes place takes a crack at turn-based strategy. There are a number of hives on a map, and you're free to choose which one to tackle next, and once you successfully overrun a hive, it will turn into a human base. But the aliens won't let you get off easy though, because they will send out counterattacks, and you'll need to find some way to best them, whether that be fortifying your bases, setting traps, and whatnot. Hive Jump also includes a unique permadeath feature to keep you on your toes. The team leader carries around a transponder backpack, which in effect is your mobile respawn point. So if that backpack gets destroyed, you will no longer be able to respawn. So guard it with your life, my boy. And as the cherry on top, Hive Jump supports 4-player cooperative multiplayer, either locally or online, so you won't have to circumvent these alien hideouts all by your lonesome. This game is looking super superb, and it's now one of the eShop games coming to the Wii U that I'm most looking forward to. So props to you, Graphite Lab. Hive Jump looks like a winner. Though most indie games that we get coming to the Wii U eShop may gravitate more towards the 2D platforming genre, it's nice to see studios branch out and build new creative experiences to break the mold. And that's where Onipunk's Kickstarter project Sea Wars comes into play, with its roguelike gameplay mixed with real-time strategy and action role-playing. In this cyberpunk apocalyptic game, 2 satellite cities on the colonized moon have become infected by mutant creatures, and the government has decided to obliterate them with nuclear weapons. So it's your job to enter these infected areas and find out the truth before it is too late. And since Sea Wars is roguelike, you can explore the game in your own way, and the decisions you make in the story and action will determine which characters you meet and how events will unfold. So 2 different players could very well have 2 different experiences. Now as for the combat system, it plays out in real time on blocks similar to Mega Man Battle Network. There's over 20 different unit types for you to take advantage of to thwart the mutant scum, and you can even collaborate your units to pull off cooperative attacks. The missions will fall into various different scenarios, so the objective for each battle isn't the same every time. In one battle, you may need to protect civilians from dying or becoming mutants as they automatically walk to the safe zone, or in another, you may need to acquire specimen by besieging and capturing your target, and so on. There will be heroes to command which will help buff up your team, special weapons to collect and mass produce for your army, or even induce enemy bosses onto your team and have them become captains. And tacked on with some fluid pixel art and animation, Sea Wars is cooking up to be a worthwhile game to look forward to on the Wii U eShop. Metroidvania and RPG fans rejoice because Heartforth Alicia is coming to the Wii U eShop and swirls those two elements together and adds a nice heaping of engaging storytelling as the cherry on top. Taking on the role of a young wizard warrior known as Alicia, you must adventure through a vast and intricate world to save your homeland from being consumed by the spirit of light known as Alpha Lion. Alpha Lion? Alpha Lion? Alpha Lion? I'm just gonna call him Roger. Now, here's the kicker. Alicia's story will play in tandem with the story of a woman that is told through live action footage. Yes, a real flesh and blood human being. As far as I'm aware. Needless to say, that's certainly interesting and not something you see every day. But ultimately, it should deepen the story behind Alicia as you try to interpret things going on in the game's universe. So that's all goody-goody about the story, but what you really want to know is how the game actually plays. Well, it's designed with the interconnected spirit of the fan-favorite game Super Metroid, so you'll travel through 12 expansive different regions and find hidden secrets, tackle dungeons, and collect powerful artifacts. And to give the player more control and flexibility with their experience in Heartforth Alicia, developer Alonzo Martin has added a number of RPG elements that are not superficial, but rather deepen the experience. There's a leveling system to keep things challenging, a ton of loot and equipment to find, stats to contemplate over, and of course, side quests. You can't have an RPG without the good old side quests. And since we're talking about a game that follows the footsteps of a wizard warrior, she'll come packing with some powerful attacks. She can slash enemies with her trusty whip, but she can also send out a variety of spells that can be acquired throughout the game. Alicia's abilities though are in no way stagnant, as her whip and spells can be upgraded to become even more devastating. And since we're talking about a game that takes some nuggets from the realm of Metroidvania, those spells will be integral to solving puzzles, discovering secrets, and just overall making progress. Oh, and did I mention how amazing the pixel work in this game is? It is magnificent, with detail just oozing out of every perfectly placed pixel. Heartforth Alicia is definitely a game you're going to want to keep an eye on when it comes to the Wii U eShop. The 2D platformer known as Adventures of Pip had a rocky start on Kickstarter, considering it failed to reach its lofty goal of $90,000 in its first campaign. But all hope wasn't lost for our little pixelated hero that spawned out of the trenches at TikTok Games, because a second Kickstarter was launched with a goal that was cut by over a half, and voila! Adventures of Pip was a go. As the title of the game suggests, you play as Pip, who's just one giant single pixel in a 32-bit world, but he is bestowed with the power to harness the bit stream. With the ability to absorb the pixels from fallen enemies, Pip can evolve and de-evolve into 3 different forms: the tiny blocky warrior, the agile explorer, and the bulky bruiser. Each transformation comes with its own unique traits, so you'll constantly be switching between them to circumvent this pixely world, and stand up to the Skeleton Queen and rescue the damsel in distress. For example, single pixel Pip can fit through tiny cracks that others cannot fit through, and middle Pip with the bottomless pits for eyes can perform a handy dandy wall jump. Oh, and did I mention that musical guru Jake Kaufman is manning the turntables to bust out some sick music and sound effects for Adventures of Pip? You know, that facial haired man with a dog named Nugget that made groovy soundtracks for games like Shovel Knight, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, Mighty Switch Force, and so on? Yeah, that guy. And if that wasn't enough, the game also includes a donkey, dog, cat, and rooster pyramid. Automatic Game of the Year. With a team full of ex-Way Forward members just like Yacht Club Games, Mr. Pipster is in the hands of some mighty fine peeps. Pip, pip, hooray. See what I did there? Hollow Knight. No, not Shovel Knight. It's less shovelly and more buggy-y. Hollow Knight is a 2D platforming action-adventure game set in the large underground and interconnected world of Hollow Nest, which is just brimming with creepy critters of all kinds. And matter of fact, its fantastic bleak visuals look like they were taken straight out of a Tim Burton film. It's really nice to see a more unique art style because pixel art, which is still great mind you, has really been shoved down our throats. I'm a big fan of video games that cater more towards the hardcore player by offering up a stiff challenge, and developer Team Cherry states that Hollow Knight will be a challenging one. But fair. They really want to capture the sense of danger, so you'll often find yourself surrounded by enemies, low on health, and just overall in some sticky situations. It's going to put your razor sharp, uber elite skills to the test. I'll probably beat it with my eyes closed though, because, you know, Bradzilla and all. And how you choose to explore this buggy world is entirely up to you. You may have no idea on where to go next, but the game rewards you for exploration, with its numerous detours housing new equipment and hidden treasure. And taking a tidbit from Nintendo's cherished Metroid series, you'll come across items and spells that will grant you new abilities to open up new pathways. And these include the Mantis Wings so you can reach new heights, or the Dream Nail, which offers a unique twist. It allows you to slice into the dreams of friends and foes and see what twisted world is lurking in their minds. And with the promise of fluid, tight, and responsive action and controls, Hollow Knight is shaping up to be a winner on the Wii U eShop. Oh, and there's this. All of my this. There we have it, folks. Those are 5 Kickstarter games you should keep on the lookout for in 2015. There are certainly more games coming our way thanks to Kickstarter, such as Hex Heroes, Medora, or Raven, but I decided to limit this video to only 5. And I didn't just grab any old game and plop it down onto this list. No, as a matter of fact, these are 5 games I'm looking forward to. And now that you have heard about them for the first time, or are just getting a refresher course because you're on top of all things Nintendo, maybe you're now looking forward to them as well. But that will bring us to the end of this video, and if you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up and add your favorites and all that good stuff, and you can stay tuned for more videos in the future. But I will talk to you in the next video, guys. Bye!